Almost every single day, on an average, I receive between 2 to 3 cold calls. Some of them are spam, some of them are people actually trying to connect. And many often, some of those calls are directly from startup founders who are trying to pitch their business, and sometimes from business development folks as well. In sometimes when I'm busy doing something or I'm in the middle of something very important, and when I receive these calls, I get really angry or upset that how dare someone disturb me or take my time for granted, that they have the audacity to call me and pitch me something that arguably I would not be interested in. And sometimes I feel that they're just doing their jobs and they're just trying to do the best of to promote or grow their startup as it goes. And involved in that process is, of course, cold calling and outreaching to people that that they do not know. And sometimes I get angry, on the other hand, where they're like, how did they get my contact information and how dare they call me? What if I was doing something important? What if I was sleeping or taking a rest from working hard? It could be any of these situations. They wouldn't know better, but they just assumed so. I just received a call a while ago where the person said was, hey, I'm a founder, I have this software, it could do this, and I would love for you to test out. My initial instinct was, obviously I was pissed, but then I actively chose to not show that feeling, and I played along and I said, of course, I'd love to know more. Please send the demo. I'll connect you with my sales team, whatever it is. And that kind of got me thinking as well, because if you really think about it, as a founder, as like even me, I am involved in some of these cold calls, cold emails, cold outreaches, helping or asking for people for help, whether it be finding new customers, new investors, and so on. And I have been on the receiving end of kindness from complete strangers or people who have very little or nothing to gain from helping me. That may be in the form of introductions, referrals, or just encouraging me or giving me support or inputs in ways that are extremely valuable for me. And I think that is a very important aspect of entrepreneurship as well, where it is, of course, important to grow your business, understand your customer, grow your product, build your team. It is perhaps also important to help others, help other founders, help other startups, give others opportunity to or give others an opportunity and an encouragement to do what is required to grow their business. And in the current day and age, where the message for hustling entrepreneurs is that you have to grind and hard and be, in a way, selfish and emotionless when it comes to taking a lot of decisions, it often gets lost, in my opinion, that being kind or helping, doing that very, very bare minimum to help others could go a very, very long way to helping as well. In my situation, when I came to this country, I knew nobody, I had nothing practically, and I was able to build Xena and build or work on my American dream since I came here, thanks to the kindness of all the people who have been my well wishers, who have invested in me, who have spent time with me. Perhaps that's the biggest investment anyone can ever make, and given me support and the platform to build what is. And I think, to the best of my abilities, whenever I do get these calls or I get requests from other founders for help or advice, I try my level best to give my time and give my advice to them as much as possible. And hopefully, if I reach a position where I am financially well off as well, I would be really interested to give financial support to early stage founders as well, because there have been a lot of people who have invested their hard earned money in Xena when we were practically nothing, when I was a new face, when I was just discovering everything from scratch. And I think that that's an important aspect in the current age as well. Even if you look at a lot of religious or cultural context, the emphasis on being kind and helpful to others has always been there. And I think that aspect should also be introduced into the world of entrepreneurship as well, into the world of startups, where while having the cutting edge technology is super important, while having high retention rates is important, I think it's also important to be conscious of the fact that you are in a position, whatever role you play in a startup ecosystem, you are in a position to help others. And unfortunately, I feel that an average person needs to take extra effort to be nice. It takes extra effort not to be rude. It takes extra effort to consciously spend your mind and spend time in being nice to others, helping others out in whatever capacity. That could include making referrals, using your own social capital, and pointing that someone to a right direction in a completely selfless manner. I think that's the most beautiful thing in the world. And arguably, one could also say that the more you help others, the more you give back to others who may not have enough opportunity that you do have at this point. I strongly believe that you also would inevitably, indirectly get something good out of it in the long run. Though that's not the driving factor for doing it, I do believe that good things happen to good people, and that's a that's something that has been observed time and time and again. So I think that's a good thing to have. And so even if somebody reaches out to you for help, for cold outreach, for any purpose, I think it may not take a lot, but it would be good to be consciously be kind and be as nice as humanly possible in helping others out.